I cannot believe I was glad to wake up at 5:30. Nowhere near enough sleep, and yet still a whole nother hour more than the day before. Remember how I said the hotel breakfast food was mid? Well, that's still true. Except for the sausages. Best sausages I've ever had. Completely out of the blue. Speaking of funny things, today we're going to Arlington National Cemetery. Yeah. I understand how these things are important. That being said, when my family has an East Coast trip, we are definitely not going there. For those who don't know, I didn't either until Doc the bus driver told us. Arlington is where hundreds of thousands of US soldiers have been buried, along with many astronauts and presidents. But they didn't find everybody, which is why the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier exists. Am I turning into a history channel? Ew. Anyways, a few kids from school got to participate in the wreath-laying ceremony. I know it's an honor, but I am not doing all that. The kids' jobs are easy compared to the guards. We were there for just a few minutes, but even in that time, you could see how robotic and precise the guards' movements were. After that, we got to ask questions to a tour guide. In stark contrast to everything prior, he was actually super chill. It was a nice change since morale in the group wasn't very high at this time. After all, a bunch of middle schoolers walking around for hours in a cemetery under freezing does not sound like a nice place to be. We got to ask him some questions. One person asked, "How long are the shifts at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier?" They're 1 hour and then there's a break. How long is your shift? The same. What do you do on your break? Doom scroll. That is crazy. I forget what the question is, but he said something like, yeah, the president did the wreath laying at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Did you go there to see it? No. Why didn't you go there? It was my day off. But it's the president. I don't get paid enough for this. After Arlington, we got lunch at the mall food court. They gave us $12 on a little MasterCard thingamajig. I proceeded to immediately spend all of it on a pretzel. I bought Subway, but I had to pay all of that out of pocket. If I hadn't brought money, I would be starving. After lunch, we went to take pictures of the Capitol building. They paid some professional photographer to do it, which is always a bad sign. Of course, they had everybody take their hats off, put their hands behind their back, hoods down, no beanies, stand up straight, and be happy about it. In other words, they tortured us and took a picture of it. I can't show you the full picture, but I can show you my face. I was trying my best to smile. You have to trust me on this. Even before I saw the picture, I knew it wasn't worth keeping. More specifically, I knew it wasn't good for being good. You know what I'm saying. In complete and utter opposition to that photo, this is where I took the thumbnail for the video. A big white dome building? Nothing screams Washington, D.C. more than that. I bet you thought it was the White House. I wouldn't blame you, they all look the same. At a science museum with a bunch of science things, I was forced to buy a $3 bottle of Dasani. Just saying that sentence hurt my soul. Writing this, I'm realizing this is sad day. I'm not even gonna try and make a joke out of it. We went to the Holocaust Museum. Again, I know why we had to come here, but I'm not going back. Next stop was the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. Apparently, FDR had a dog, which immediately became the star of the show. It's funny, no matter how cool a memorial is, if there was any snow at all, kids would immediately go crazy for it. I mean, I know we live in California, but still, just go outside. There are literal mountains covered in it, in your own damn state. It's cold water, for crying out loud. After that, we went to another TLA. That, of course, stands for three-letter acronym. This one was the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. All I have to say about this one is there's a guy, and that's it. Also, I'm putting this picture on my resume. You can't stop me, but the colleges probably can. For some reason, they handed out snacks right before we got on the bus. At that moment, the stars aligned, and I rediscovered my love for animal crackers. Very important information that the entire world needs to know about. After a quick snack, we went to memorial number 7 bajillion. The Thomas Jefferson Memorial. I was trying to take selfies, but this guy kept photobombing me. And I've made that joke before. For dinner, we went to Bolero. Probably the thing I spent the least time doing there was bowling. Mostly eating, getting distracted by the 12,000 TVs, those punching things that make number go burr, throwing balls in a public place, and playing arcade games. I swear, this day gave me whiplash from the sheer number and contrast of everything. One moment we were joking around. The next watching videos of concentration camps, and before you know it, you're stuffing your face with chicken wings. I was going insane. After that fever dream, we got back to the hotel around 10 p.m. Now, keep in mind, curfew is about 10:30. You can probably see where I'm going with this. All curfew really means is that you're not... Okay, I guess it doesn't really mean anything. Actually, it means that if you're noisy, the private security they hired will literally knock on your door until you shut up. At least that's what I've heard. All things considered, I had some pretty good roommates. A good night to all. And to all, a good night. That is all. I'm so tired, man. It probably came across in the video, but I just gotta get this one out. There's 2 more after this, and they are way more interesting in content. So yeah, kind of rushing this one. I gotta get this one done, because in the last week of school, I probably won't be able to get much done. And that's when the last video of the DC series is gonna be uploaded, so, you know.